All right, lesson 10, final lesson before your mid-unit exam assessment. Graphs of functions in standard and factored forms, and a cool down called making connections. So different forms of quadratic functions can tell us interesting information about the function's graph. When a quadratic function is expressed in standard form, like this, x squared minus 5x plus 7, we can very clearly and easily see the y-intercept of the graph of 7. Because remember, the y-intercept is where x is equal to 0. So if I take this equation right here and I plug in zeros for all of my x's, well, that's 0, 0 plus 0 is 7, y equals 7. My y-intercept is the point 0, comma 7. We don't actually need to do any calculating though. That right there is the y-intercept. This makes sense because, again, when the y value, we're looking for the y value when x is 0. When a function is expressed in factored form, we get to see something else that's interesting. We get to see the x-intercepts. The reason why we can see the x-intercepts is because when we look at this, an x-intercept is where my function value is equal to 0, and that can happen where x minus 4 equals 0, because if we have 0 times anything, it'll be 0. That can also happen where x minus 1 is equal to 0, because anything times 0 is 0. So the question is, what value of x makes x minus 4 equal to 0? Well, 4. What value of x makes x minus 1 equal to 0? Well, 1. And if you look, there's one x-intercept, and there's my other. The x-intercepts for this, well, what would make x plus 2 equal to 0? Negative 2. What would make this equal to 0? Negative 6. I would expect to see x-intercepts for this one at negative 2 and negative 6, which, hey, look at that, we do. So standard form can tell us the y-intercept. Factored form shows us the x-intercepts, but again, we have to ask what makes this equal to 0 or that equal to 0. It's not 6 and 2, it's negative 2 and negative 6, because that's what gives us zeros. All right, making connections. We have these two equations, both define the same quadratic function without graphing. Identify the x and y-intercepts of the graph. Standard form tells you the y-intercept. Factored form tells you the x-intercepts. Explain how you know. Let me know if you have any questions.